Welcome back to Community Talk. My name is Mark Anzalone, and my guest today is Crystal Randall with the Learning RX. Hi, Crystal. Now, I've heard some rumors that you can do miracles at the Learning RX for people who are struggling in school and at work.
Well, I don't know that I would quite call it miracle workers, but yes, we can make life a lot easier for people who are struggling with cognitive problems.
That sounds great. I have here one of the books that you offer for interested clients, Unlocking the Einstein Inside.
Yes.
And apparently you do brain training work?
Yes, we do. What we do is we work with children and adults who need to make their brain work better. And it might be because they have a learning disability, it might be because they've had a brain injury, it might be they just want to get ahead in their job. Whatever it might be, we can make their brain process information better, and we can make things easier and faster.
Well, that sounds amazing. Can you tell me a little bit about your background and how the Learning RX got started in Enid?
Actually, Learning RX as an entity started many years ago and has been in existence as a franchise system for about 10 years. My experience with Learning RX does not quite last that long. I became interested in Learning RX because I was a teacher for many, many years, and then I also worked in teacher preparation at a university and realized that for some reason we weren't quite reaching everybody, and so I was constantly looking for something that would help me be a better teacher.
Sure.
And then I stumbled across the Little Brother program for Learning RX and started working with it about 4 years ago in Fairview. And then we evolved into the current system that we have now, where we have an office at 2106 West Willow, right across from Jumbo's, which is awesome.
Sure.
And we have children and adults, clients ranging from 5 years old. The oldest we've had at this point is 91.
No kidding.
Absolutely. We can make a difference no matter what your age is.
Well, that's very reassuring. Now, when I was in school many years ago, the theory was that you really couldn't change your intelligence.
We know that that's not true anymore.
Oh.
And we're talking in brain science in the last 10 to 15 years has come a long way. And so what we know now is your brain is wired from birth, but some rewiring can take place and help it become more efficient and to work better.
Well, can you tell me what you do there and who can benefit from the program?
Absolutely. Anyone can benefit from our program,
Great.
but we don't have just anyone walk in the door, obviously. What we do, if you were to become my client, the first thing that we would do is you would come in and we would do an assessment. We would use the Woodcock-Johnson, which is the gold standard in educational assessment right now.
Okay.
And we would assess your cognitive skills. Now, if you were a school child and you were assessed at school, they are looking at some more achievement-related skills than what we do. We look at more of the cognitive-related skills because cognition is where we work and achievement is where schools work, basically.
So you're not teaching information, you're helping the people, the brain, remember information better. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what we do. We don't work on content. We don't teach history facts or science facts. What we do is our activities, we're kind of like a personal trainer for your brain. So when you take that test, we're going to come up with a profile for you and see where your strengths and your weaknesses are. And then we're going to provide you with a one-on-one trainer who is going to work to make those weaknesses much stronger. And what we do is we actually create new synaptic connections in your brain that are much more efficient, and they make things work faster, and they make things work better in your brain.
Well, can you give me an example of somebody who's been through your program and was successful?
I can give you many examples. Let's start with a 5-year-old. We had a 5-year-old who came to us, and he had been to the best preschool in town and all of that, and he was still lagging behind his classmates, and his parents were very concerned. So we did an assessment on him, and what we discovered was that he actually only knew about 5 or 6 letters in the alphabet when he came. And he was definitely behind because his brain wasn't quite wired for auditory processing. Had nothing to do with his ears, had everything to do with the way his brain processed information that he took in through his ears, and also the letter sound correlations. So we worked with him for a while, and he now is in kindergarten. He's the top student in his class. He's loving school. He's so excited about school, and his parents are just ecstatic.
That's amazing. What about somebody who's at a college age level? Is it going to be as effective for somebody who's older?
Absolutely. A lot of it is how bad do you want it? We work with a lot of high school students who want to raise their ACT or their SAT scores, because those tests measure processing and the way your brain processes information. So they're different from your EOIs and those types of things at school, and they're not quite ready for that, some of them, because we know that to be successful in college, you have to be able to process differently. We have had college students who've come to us that have been struggling in college and have just really, been on academic probation and those types of things, worked with us for 24 to 32 weeks, and at the end of that, they are doing very well in college, achieving where they want to be, and their goals that they had when they started college actually may come true for them, and they were not going to in any way, shape, or form.
So you're saying in about 6 months' time, you're able to get enough progress that people are successful and at the level that they want to be
in about
performing
6
at.
to 8 months, we can very much change the educational future of anyone that comes in our office.
Well, that's very reassuring. I'm sure for parents of third graders who are now confronted with the reading test that's required, the new legislation called Reading Sufficiency Act requires them to pass a test in order to pass the third grade. Would you be able to help with something like that?
Actually, we can help a great deal with that. The test right now is scheduled in April, and this is February, so we're getting awfully close to that test.
Right.
We can make a difference at this point. It's going to depend on how severe the issues are. The first thing, of course, is to do an assessment and see what's going on. See if they need us for cognitive training or if they need something else like tutoring. Because tutoring is content, and we are not. We are making your brain more efficient in the cognitive processing. Second grade parents, yes, absolutely. If your child is struggling in second grade, get in to see us and let's find out what's going on. If nothing else, you're going to have a baseline of knowing where your child is and where their strengths and their weaknesses are. And that's always, I'm a parent of 2 children. I want to know where their strengths and weaknesses are, and it's wonderful that you can do that. And we can do that, and then if there is a problem with cognition, we can bring them in and we can fix that problem so that when they enter third grade, they're going to be doing much, much better.
That's great. Well, if somebody is interested in the program, how should they contact you?
They can reach us by phone at 580-540-3450, or they can come by our office at 2106 West Willow in Enid, or we have an office in Fairview at the Major County Economic Development Building.
And I understand that you actually have some clients who travel quite a distance in order to work with you.
Actually, yes. We have one family coming from Wheeler, Texas. We have another family coming from Liberal, Kansas. We have one from over near Tulsa, several from around Oklahoma City, because we are the only center that can have the amazing results that we can in the state of Oklahoma.
And so they're satisfied with the results that they're getting. Can you give me an example of someone else who's been successful with the program?
Actually, yes. We had a traumatic brain injury client who at 17 had an anoxic brain injury from a heart attack. And he was an honor student, and he lost the ability to read, and he lost all of his math skills.
Oh, how unfortunate.
It was terrible. In 24 weeks, we had him reading again and performing quite well. Math lagged behind. He came back last summer and did a 12-week session with us just focusing on math, and he has passed his college algebra class that he had not been able to get through, and he's seeing improvements every day.
So even people who've had traumatic brain injuries have a future if they know what to do.
Absolutely. We can help just about anyone to make their brain work better.
Have you discussed this with any of the neurosurgeons or any of the doctors in the area?
We have been to several of the doctors' offices to explain to them what we do. There are some that have referred us clients that are suffering like from ADHD, because we're very effective in reducing or eliminating ADHD medications by what we do. We've had others. We've worked with the Department of Rehabilitation Services before with clients to help them become job ready that needed they had needed brain skills developed, and we were able to do that for them.
So you're saying your program can actually make changes in people's behavior?
Absolutely. When your brain is not working the way it should, it controls all of your behaviors. And also when you're not learning the way you should, there are certain reactive behaviors that a lot of people develop and coping skills. And those will become less necessary as you get the skills that you need. And so you are much more effective in the job place.
Well, can you describe what it is you're actually doing there?
It's kind of like hiring a physical therapist. You hire them for your body. Well, you hire us for your brain to do the same thing. We're going to be doing one-on-one activities tailored to you and your profile, and they are going to, when you finish, you're going to be as mentally exhausted as if you actually had a physical workout.
Okay.
Because we're going to work your brain muscle, for lack of a better word, and make it work the way that it's supposed to do.
And are you the only person who does this at your office, or do you have other people helping you with that?
We have several trainers. I'm actually the center director. So when you come in, you will meet with me, and I will go over test scores with you, and we'll help design a program. And then I check in and out with parents and clients all the time. And then we have trainers that will actually work with them, because I can't work with every child because we have too many. But we have amazing trainers who do just fantastic work, and I let them train my children, so that way I know I can trust them to train other people's.
All right, great. Well, could you tell me once again, what your website is and phone number, so I would be able to pass that on to anyone who's interested?
Our phone number is 580-540-3450, and you can find us on the web at www.learningrx.com. Then you need to do a backslash and type in Northwest-Oklahoma. You also can find us on Facebook. We have amazing tips that go out every single day, brain-related tips and hints that go out on Facebook. Just do a search for Learning RX Northwest Oklahoma, and you'll find us.
I have seen your Facebook page and the information that comes out there, and that's really fascinating, some of that information, not only about the program itself, but also what is the brain's potential and the research that's ongoing in the field.
It's amazing what we have available to us now.
That's wonderful. Well, I do want to thank you, Crystal Randall, for being on Community Talk today. Once again, my name is Mark Anzalone, and I hope you've enjoyed our discussion with Crystal Randall of the Learning RX.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this segment on veterans information presented by Northwest Oklahoma Disabled American Veterans Chapter 66, located here in Enid. My name's Craig Vance, and with me is my colleague Mike McCauley, and we've got some information to present to you today. First and foremost, our office is located in the former Santa Fe Railroad Depot at 202 West Walnut. Our phone number is 580-242-3808, and our office hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 1. If you're a veteran or a family member needing help with veterans benefits, please stop by and see us. We'll be more than happy to help you. I'd like to also let you know that we do run transportation from the Enid area to the VA hospital in Oklahoma City, and we are also instituting a new service providing local transportation to the Enid VA clinic at 10th and East Garrett. And if you need transportation to Oklahoma City, please call our coordinator at 478-7027 for a ride to Oklahoma City. If you need a ride in the Enid to the Enid clinic, it's our office number, 580-242-3808, and please call at least 24 hours ahead of time so we can coordinate drivers. But if you need to go, let us know and we'll provide a ride to you if we can. Also, the city of Enid, the Enid Transit, is offering free door-to-door rides for citizens age 60 and older. So that's another way that some veterans can get a ride to the Enid Clinic. And if you need a ride on Enid Transit, their number is 233-0468. And we are continuing to look for volunteers to help us provide this local transportation for veterans to the clinics. And if you can spare a few hours or a few days a month, please give us a call at 242-3808. And Mike has some interesting information on some veteran service work that he's been doing at the Crabtree Correctional Institution. Mike, you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, the James Crabtree Correctional Center, I'm a veteran volunteer there. I do the same work that we do in the office. I just do more of an outreach program. They have projects going on there. One of the projects is, they call it the Bridge Project, is where they make stuff and they donate it back to local nursing homes, children's homes, or different schools and stuff around. They make beanies and scarves and stuff like that. One of the big things they do for the veterans is they make an Afghan flag that they donate to veterans and nursing homes, and then some of them and they also make a Gold Star flag that goes out to veterans on Memorial Day at Veterans Park at Woodring Airport. But the stars and everything are gold in there. But the flag is really, really nice. It takes about 50 hours to make a flag for them. And then they donate them out to veterans. Or if you know a veteran, you can come by, fill out an application, and we'll submit it back to their committee up at the James Crabtree, and then they'll make a flag for that particular person that you're looking for. As long as they're a veteran, they'll make one for you. On the Bridge Project, let me do it with the paper here. On the Bridge Project, they're always looking for additional stuff to make stuff, because they'll make banks and jewelry boxes, anything they can get, scraps of wood or clothing. Well, not so much clothing, but yarns and art equipment, drawing stuff. They make a large variety of different stuff that they donate back to the community. And all that is made by donations, or money's donated to them, so they can either from the donated stuff make stuff, or with the donated monies they can go out and purchase additional stuff or specific items what they might need to complete stuff with. A lot of times when they make the jewelry boxes and stuff from the donated wood, they'll still have to go out and buy the little hinges and the locks and stuff for the front of them. And then on the flag project, I'll give you some numbers on that, where they're at right now. And for the Afghan flags right now that they made and donated out is 362 to date. Let me get my numbers straight here first. They delivered 210 stocking caps and 226 crocheted little tiny bears for children. I know personally they donate a lot of the little bears and stuffed animals to the Toys for Tots. And but with all the stuff they have going on right now, I mean, they're really incredible for what they make and the time they make it in. I mean, if they get an order for something, they'll get on it, and right now they acquired a lot more help. They got more veterans up there trying to get into it and help out with the projects and stuff. So you got a lot more people doing the crocheting. So they have to get an individual that's willing to do the crocheting. Then they got to teach them how to do it. So it's kind of going both ways there. So it's a lot of work.
So if somebody has yarn, wood, craft supplies that they want to donate, they can just bring them by our office there at 202 West Walnut?
Yeah.
Okay. And there are, for veterans that are wanting to go to college, or we've got a lot of dependents that are coming out of high school here in a few months, there are a few scholarships available that I'd like to tell you about. Members of DAV and the DAV Auxiliary and their dependents are eligible for a scholarship awarded from the state organization of the DAV. The due date for that is the 1st of July. The Oklahoma Veterans Council has scholarships they award to veterans and their dependents, and you can pick up applications for either of those at our office. And again, that due date is July 1st. The Vance Air Force Base Officer Spouse Clubs offers a scholarship, and that due date is March 14th, so that's right around the corner. If you need an application for that, the email address is vanceoscsscholarship@hotmail.com, and they will send you the application. And that, to qualify for that, you need to be dependents of active duty, Guard or Reserve military personnel at Vance, retired military in the local area, families of deceased military personnel, or a DOD employee. So again, that's the Vance Air Force Base Officer Spouse Club Scholarship. And if you know of any other scholarships available to area veterans, please let us know so we can get those applications and have them available for people that need them. And Mike, would you like to tell our audience about the Camp Lejeune water contamination issue that's going around?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Let me get my notes here again. I'm sorry about that. Hang in there. The Camp Lejeune water contamination deal, it started back in 1953. So they're carrying it from 1953 to 1987. So if you was any Marine that was stationed there, Marine's family, the wives, the children, or if you were a contractor and you worked on base a lot, or you lived on base, and they have a lot of different diseases that came out, a lot of cancers and stuff like that. But right now they're listing like 15 different diseases out there from the contaminated water. And the dates between those dates is 53 to 1987. So if you were stationed there, or if you know somebody that was stationed there, and if they're having problems or they don't know why they're having problems, contact us, and then we can get you more information on that.
Okay, and the VA is providing health care for those specific diseases that they've identified and linked to the water contamination.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next item is, we brought up this before, but we have 2 free books that are available to veterans. One is provided from the government of South Korea as a thankful nation for the support that our armed services gave to them during the Korea War. And that book is available at our office. All you have to do is come by and ask for the Korea book, and we'll be happy to give you one. The other book is for members and family of the 45th. It's got a brief history of the division since its stand-up, and it has also some DVDs on the most recent Iraqi conflict. And again, those books are free of charge. Just come by our office and ask for them. And tax year is coming to a close, and if you have a desire to make a donation to the DAV, we certainly welcome it, and we will put it to good use for area veterans. And we are a 501c4 nonprofit organization, and so your contribution is tax deductible. And our services are provided free of charge to any veteran or their family that can use our help. So if you know of a veteran that needs assistance, please send him our way. Mike, you have anything else to cover today?
No, that's it. But I was just looking at this book again here, and in the pages here, it's for Iraq, Operation Iraqi Freedom from 2003 to 2009, plus for domestic operations from 1973 to 2006. So most likely anything that the 45th done in the meantime, as far as like Katrina and going to all these different places like that, it'll be here, and it should be on one of the DVDs that are located in the back of the book. So
It's a pretty good book,
Yeah.
and again, free of charge. Come by our office. And so until next time, Northwest Oklahoma Disabled American Veterans at 202 West Walnut. We'd love to have you come by and grab a cup of coffee and chat. And again, we'd love to help any veteran out there that needs assistance filing for their benefits. So until next time, it's Craig Vance and Mike McCauley. See you soon.
Well, hello. My name is Patrick Farrell. I'm a volunteer for the Cherokee Strip Regional Heritage Center, and this is Community Talk. Boy, are we ever fortunate today to have with us Cody Jolliffe, the Educational Director of the Regional Heritage Center.
Well, thank you, Pat. Glad to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you here. What's going on over at the center?
Well, I tell you what, we kind of take just a little bit of a break after Christmas.
Do you?
But to the outside world, it might look like we're taking a little break, but there's a lot that goes on in those couple of months because we're planning for all the spring events and all the
Right.
spring exhibits, and so we're doing a lot of busy work and preparing for the spring. But Turkey Creek School is getting ready to kick off here again.
Are they?
And
Yes.
we'll have classes, every day that we're Tuesday through Friday that we're open during the week. We'll have a different class from around the region coming to go to school in the one-room schoolhouse. So if you haven't signed up, you better get quick on it.
And right, because you really have good participation in that,
Yeah,
don't you?
It usually books out completely.
Does it?
Each
Yeah.
semester. And then we have the new program, which is Pioneer Life, Homesteading the Cherokee Outlet for third grade classes. And they can come and kind of experience what a day was like as a homesteader.
Really?
So they get to visit the land office and file their claim. They wash clothes, they churn butter, they
Oh,
grind
my.
coffee. They're going to be just helping with all kinds of chores, and it's a fun day.
They have a lot of things doing there, and they're third graders,
That's right, yeah, third graders.
and they'll remember that.
They will. We've had third graders who do that, and then they come as fourth graders to Turkey Creek School, and they remember that. And then this past year, and again this year, we have a program for fifth graders.
Oh, do you?
And so they talk about all those things. It's funny what they remember sometimes,
Yes.
and how much detail they can remember.
That's right,
yeah.
and recall.
Yes,
That's good. And now then, a turkey shoot, spring turkey shoot coming
Oh,
up.
the April Fool's shoot.
April Fool's shoot, yes.
See, fooled you. No, it's an April Fool's shoot, and it is in March.
Is
So
it?
See there,
Okay.
we'll get you on right off the bat.
Yeah.
But it's at the end of March, March 28th, I believe, a Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really a fun time. It's a fundraiser for the education department,
Is
so
it?
that we can do the programming that we do.
Mhm.
And if you want to have a team, you can have a team of a squad of 5 guys or girls, and or you can come as an individual shooter and sign up. And it's trap shooting, so we'll be
Oh, is it?
shooting clay pigeons. It's trap, and 5 stand is the other competition that we do. And we give out some great prizes.
Do you?
And,
Yes.
Everyone gets shooting patches for their jackets that are real nice, and it's just really a fun day.
Is that held on the area up north of town?
Yeah, at the Grand National Range.
Is it?
So they're gracious host.
I read where you're having a wobble shoot or a
Yeah, wobble trap shoot.
wobble trap shoot. Tell us what that is.
Well, it's where it kind of throws the clay pigeons all different kinds of directions. So
Oh, does it? Yeah.
you never know where they're going to go, and
Okay.
which direction or how they're going to fly out of the machine. and so it's pretty challenging.
It
And,
sounds like it must
yeah.
be.
And that's just kind of for fun, So
Mhm.
when guys compete in that, they're competing for prizes.
Oh, are they? Yeah.
And so some fun things that we give away. Some pretty big prizes.
Interesting moniker, the wobble.
The wobble, yeah.
Yes. So, and now also some Civil War events you've got coming up.
Yeah, we're going to host a national touring exhibit on Lincoln and the Constitution.
Oh, are you?
And it's from the American Libraries Association.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be here in April and most of May. And I think it'll be a really neat exhibit and kind of look at some really hard questions about looking at the Constitution and the things that Lincoln faced coming into the Civil War. So really some kind of difficult questions.
Well, that is. And his terms of office were fraught with all kinds of special problems.
Yes.
It was just amazing. And the constitutional questions, that's really something.
Yeah, to go along with that is also the Red Dirt Barbecues Kids Art Competition.
Oh,
and
right.
so this year the theme of that will be Lincoln and the Constitution.
Will it?
And so their art will reflect that, and it will be housed in the same exhibit hall with the Lincoln exhibit, as well as we're going to have some Indian Territory, Oklahoma, because it wasn't Oklahoma in the Civil War, but Civil War related artifacts from our region.
Yes, and the Oklahoma was on the western periphery of the Civil War, but it was sort of involved, wasn't it?
It was very much so. It's kind of a different war here in the nations because you have so much conflict. You have conflict brought up from 20, 30 years ago, issues that are brought back up, and you have a whole all of the different nations are divided, and it's really just a very difficult time. We have several engagements and battles in Oklahoma. So.
That's really something. And the Civil War exhibit, we've talked just about that.
Yeah.
But is there a brown bag lunch on the artillery? Or,
yeah. Of course, brown bags are always second Wednesday. The second Wednesday in, I guess that will be April, will be Dr. Dan Lawrence, who teaches at the University of Oklahoma, and he'll be talking about Civil War artillery. And the evening before that, it'll be that Tuesday, we'll have Dr. Bill Corbett from Northeastern State University, my alma mater, and he'll be speaking on the war in Indian Territory.
Is he?
And that'll be at NOC in the evening, kind of follow a format of our fall lecture series, but we'll throw one in the spring for fun. And so you can go to that lecture, and the following day at noon, there'll be a completely different topic, but it'll be very interesting. And then we will also have a family day around the Civil War. So we'll have lots of kids' activities, lots of hands-on things. There'll probably be a musket and rifle demonstration and a special display. A couple of collectors I know I think are going to come in.
Are they?
And set up a display.
Will they shoot their rifles?
They won't shoot theirs, but we might demonstrate otherwise with some. And we'll have different things from the Civil War era on display that day.
Those soldiers in the war had to hand load each one of those?
They did, yeah. It's musket loading, muzzle loading, I should say.
Muzzle loading, yes.
And they could, a good soldier could load and fire at least 3 rounds a minute.
Could he?
And usually you're picking up a 4th round every few minutes. It's pretty difficult. I've tried it. And,
have you?
Yeah. It's
sounds pretty difficult.
It is pretty difficult.
A lot of hand-eye coordination going on there.
Getting a lot of coordination going for certain.
Yeah.
And then also with the Civil War things, we'll have the 2 lectures, we'll have the family day, and kind of a real special treat is we're going to have a Civil War concert.
Are you?
That'll be on April 26th at 1 o'clock there on a Saturday afternoon. We'll have some refreshments. I'm putting together a brass band here in town. We've got several local musicians, and we've been practicing for 2-3 months now, I guess.
Have you really?
Yeah, getting ready for it, and we're practicing all Civil War scores, and so I think that'll be really fun.
That
And,
will be, and it'll be fun for the people observing it.
Yeah,
I think, anyway.
I think so.
Any of the music you've been working on that we'd be familiar with today?
Not so much, maybe. We're trying to pick some that maybe people are not so familiar with. Of course, we'll play, Battle Hymn of the Republic and some of those ones that we are familiar with. But we're playing lots of quick steps, Captain Shepherd's quick step and the Big Thunder quick step, and lots of marches and martial air type songs. And then also with that, we will have a string band, a gentleman who plays banjo and a guitar, and so they'll be able to tell you about the vocal and the instruments that go along with that, as far as what we might consider folk music or something today. And then we'll also have a fife and drum corps from Fort Gibson Historic Site. So we'll kind of show you all the different types of music during the time period.
What a special, entertaining, and educational afternoon that'll be.
It will be. I think it'll be really a great time. We're going to visit a couple schools the day before.
Are you?
Bringing in all those musicians, and actually most of them are educators too. They're museum professionals who do this. And so we'll be visiting some schools the day before. So I think that'll be
When
great.
is that again?
That's April 26th.
April 26th.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I think that's going to be a wonderful experience, and as I say, fun for the audience.
Yeah.
Just plain fun. And the Frontier Festival, that's a part of it?
No, the Frontier Festival is coming up in May. That'll be May 17th, and that's when we will, kind of commemorate our the land run and things, that kind of time, the 1890s. And this year, it's sponsored by Union Pacific Railroad.
Is it? Yeah.
And so we'll have some kind of rail things in there for folks to enjoy. And the main thing is that it is a town social. So, you have to...
Of the time.
Of the time period, yeah, of the 1890s. So we'll have a box supper, some fried chicken and maybe a piece of pie or something real good in there. And we will have a carnival, and all the games will be 1890s style games. Most of the prizes and everything we'll try and keep to the time period.
Right.
And the entertainment during the carnival will be of the time period. The brass band will be back.
The brass band will make a return.
And we're actually working on a lot of 1890s music that is circus theme songs.
Oh, gosh.
And things like that. So that were real popular for Wild West shows and carnival bands.
Yes.
And so those are challenging.
I'll bet they are.
Yeah, challenging scores of music. So
And it'll get the pulse going and the heart pounding.
And if that doesn't, the band's going to pause, and we have our own Miss Owens from Tennessee, and she is a trick shooter, and she's going to shoot some balloons, and last time she had me hold the balloons, I'm out here, and she shot the balloons out of my hand.
Really?
So
oh my!
it was a little frightening.
Well, it would be. I'll say. Didn't put an apple on your head.
No,
right?
I'm not gonna let her do that. I don't
Okay.
think. But and then we have another entertainer who does trick roping, and another one who does a whip act. And I've seen him. He had a young lady hold a newspaper once, and he took the whip and cut that newspaper.
Wow.
So
that's an afternoon of entertainment.
Well, and then after that's over, there's a dance.
And we're not finished
We're
yet.
not finished.
Okay.
So when the carnival ends, there will be a dance that evening. There'll be instruction, and there'll be a caller, and it's a real family fun evening at the Heritage Center.
It sounds like a great experience.
Yeah.
Great fun. And you've got a new exhibit coming into your exhibit area.
We do. Right now, we have the Trappings Western Art exhibit. And there's some great pieces.
Have you?
And some are still for sale, so have to come in and check them out. But some beautiful pieces of Western art.
Do you?
Sculpture, paintings, leather work, silver work,
Oh my, yeah.
just all kinds of things. And in fact, our brown bag, the second Wednesday of March, coming up here in about a week, will be our brown bag with a couple of those artists who will be featured.
They'll be there.
Yeah, and so they'll talk about the process of how they make the art, maybe where they get the ideas or the inspiration. You know, and I think all the artists in the show, you know, they're not full-time artists. You know,
They have other avocations.
They do.
Or vocations.
And a lot of them are true Western artists. You know, one of them had some trouble getting his art there because his fence broke and his cows were out, you know. So these guys are real cowhands.
They certainly, well, they're really something. Now that's your current exhibit.
That's the current exhibit. That's right. And then we'll go to the Civil War exhibit in April and May. And then after that, we will have a corset exhibit.
A corset?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting offbeat thing for.
I think so. It was developed by the Oklahoma Territorial Museum in Guthrie, Oklahoma, which is a part of the Oklahoma Historical Society.
Yeah.
And they've developed this exhibit, and now they're going to tour it. So
I'll be darned.
It'll make its first stop in Enid. So.
Its first one. Well, Cody, you've got a lot of things going there, and I think that's a wonderful, wonderful example of information, education, and history.
Well, thank you.
Right here in our community.
Yeah.
Cody, thank you so much for being here. And for all of you watching, thank you for viewing Community Talk.
I'm Lori Waken with Grace Care Personal Care and In-Home Services, and I'm talking today with Verna Johns of the Wheatheart Nutrition Project here in Enid. Verna's the site manager here and has some great information to share with us about a very valuable program for lots of folks, not just our seniors, but others. Welcome, Verna. Thank you for coming to talk to me today. I've been learning since we've been visiting a lot about Wheatheart that I did not know before, and thought it would be a great thing if you could share a little bit about the program with the folks in the Enid community. We know nutrition is a very, very serious concern for many individuals. Lots of folks just aren't able to get out and get the food and get their nutritional needs met, and you all really step in and assist them. So wanted to ask you a little bit about Wheatheart. How long have you been working for Wheatheart here in Enid?
I started for Wheatheart in July of '96.
Okay.
So almost 18 years.
Goodness. And you've seen lots of changes. Is it basically the same? What are some things you've noticed about the program?
There have been some changes, but it's basically the same. We've meals for senior citizens. The program needs to be 60 and above. We are in an 8-county area. There are other programs all over the state of Oklahoma, but our Wheatheart project, nutrition project is in 8-county area.
Okay, and the 8 counties, probably northwestern Oklahoma, that area. And do I understand correctly, there are 16 different sites, different cities in that 8-county area?
I've never counted them up, but that sounds about right.
And what are some of those cities?
Oh, we have a site in Medford, Pond Creek, Garber, Billings, Blackwell, Ponca City, Perry, Kingfisher, Wacomas, of course, Enid, Watonga, Ringwood, Helena, Cherokee. I'm probably omitting some.
Well, you've done pretty well. That's great. So mostly northwestern and central Oklahoma.
Right.
And Wheatheart is different. We've visited before with mobile meals and have talked to some folks that have participated in that program. And this is a different and separate program. Is that correct?
Right, it is.
Okay. And it is, who sponsors the Wheatheart Nutrition Program?
We are funded through a grant.
Okay.
And there is also a suggested $2 donation per meal, but if you can't afford it, you don't have to pay that. It's whatever you feel you can afford.
Wonderful.
We have right now, just here in the Enid area, about 70 home deliveries we make to people who are shut in. And then we have about 60 that come in and eat at our site.
Great. So an on-site program for individuals to come to you,
Right.
as well as a meal delivery program for folks who probably meet some certain qualifications. Is that correct? They need to maybe fall into a certain qualifying
Yeah, for
demographic.
home delivery, it's basically based on health, and they probably they don't want them to be able. They need to be able to need help with like getting their groceries and things like that. If they feel like they are able to get out and drive all over the community, they can come into the site and eat.
Sure.
Mostly for the social aspect too, getting around, getting with other people.
Okay, so it meets not only nutritional needs, but socialization needs, needs for companionship and company and visiting and that kind of thing, which has been
Yes.
proven to be very essential to folks' overall sense of well-being. So
Right.
that's great. Now, you mentioned there are some qualifying issues that folks need to meet to get the meals delivered. Can you, you said need to not be able to get out and drive. Who determines that?
We have a project direct.
Kind of a coordinator? Someone
Yes,
who-
I've totally gone blank as to.
Okay. I'm picturing maybe a social worker type of a person who goes and does a little interview or something with
Yes,
folks.
they will call into our site or any one of the sites and give us the name and number, and then we will contact the person that goes out and assesses them and make sure they qualify. And if they qualify, they will be set up on our program.
Okay, and the qualification doesn't have anything to do with income level, I'm assuming.
No, it has nothing to do with income level.
Okay, so anybody, maybe you're getting out of the hospital and are having some trouble getting out and about, and just for a short period of time, a couple of weeks or something, can give you a call, have one of your folks come out to do a very informal assessment and get your meals taken care of for a couple of weeks.
Yes, we have a lot of people that will call. They've had surgery for one thing and another, or something else, and they're down, maybe back problems or something, and we will go out, and if they qualify, then we will set them up with a meal, and then a lot of times they will call us, well, I'm better now, and I don't need the meal anymore.
And that can be a lifesaver. You know, folks a lot of the time get out of the hospital and they can function in their home just fine, but maybe their family has moved away, or they don't have adult children, or don't know their neighbors very well, and could just use that temporary little helping hand to help make sure that they have a meal until they get a little bit better. So, wonderful service. On-site meals, where are you located and how does that work?
We are located in the dining room of Meadows Point Apartments at 1225 South Cleveland.
Great.
If you would like a meal, you call us the day before, because our food is cooked in at the kitchen in Ringwood,
Okay.
and then they bring it to us in bulk,
Okay.
and we serve the meals.
And so a 1 day ahead reservation, that's not a
Right.
bad deal. Great. And how do you know what you're getting? Is it you get a meal, or is it buffet style, or how does that work? Just so folks know what they're...
It is meal. Our menus are set up by a registered dietitian.
Great.
And we have 6 weeks of menus, and then we go through them 6 weeks, and then we turn around and start with week 1 again, and go through them for 3-month session. Beginning of every 3 months, like the beginning of January or the beginning of April, we get a new set of menus.
Okay, you've got a dietitian planning the whole thing,
Right.
so they are nutritionally based.
Right.
You've got your locations that prepare the meals, and so it adds to the efficiency and consistency there, and then they bring them to your site, and you have them available for the folks to come in and enjoy. And I would think with a 6-week rotation, you don't have to worry about getting the same meal over and over again.
No, we don't. Today we had chicken enchilada casserole.
Oh, yum.
Sherbet and chips with the chicken enchilada casserole and corn. Tomorrow is the pork cutlet, Brussels sprouts, roll. Dessert is mixed fruit with vanilla pudding, and there's one other, creamed corn on that menu.
Well, good. Nice
And-
variety.
and
It's
then
not just
on,
one item. You've got quite a few things to choose from, and it sounds very well
Friday is
balanced.
Indian tacos.
Oh, I may come eat with you. Now, the meal delivery. I understand, or do I understand, that this is a volunteer run? how does that work? Are you recruiting for volunteers?
Yes, we have volunteers that deliver meals, and they are paid so much per mile based on what
Okay.
the IRS states that should be paid
Well, that helps.
reimbursement. And they also receive a free meal, and we're always needing volunteers.
Great.
Especially drivers.
Okay, and what is involved? So you need to have reliable transportation. You can
Right.
count on having your mileage reimbursed, free meal. What are the other qualifications that you look for in a volunteer?
Well, just dependable, and they will can get we get our food about 10 after 10, and then we start packaging our home deliveries.
Okay.
Or our meals for our home deliveries, and then they will. Usually, we have the gentleman that delivers. Not always gentlemen. We have one lady that delivers, and they come and they pick up the food and take and deliver it. And as long as they can get the food anywhere from 10:30 to 11, depending upon when we get the meals
Get
ready and get them ready for sending out.
Okay, and then
And
about how
then-
long does it take them to complete their route?
Takes usually around an hour.
Okay.
And then, of course, if they don't deliver, they don't have to deliver every day. I can use even somebody that delivers once a week
Oh,
or
great.
whatever, whatever, they feel are wanting to deliver. And then they can, after they get their meals delivered, then they bring they're put in
Containers.
ice chests or whatever to keep them hot or keep them cold, whichever the case may be, and bring them back to the site.
Great, and that's all at Meadows Point. So they'll show
Yes.
up maybe 10:30 or 11, pick up their containers
Meals.
and maybe driving instructions, addresses, that kind of thing.
Right.
Go drive the route. I'm trying to anticipate questions that might come up. If someone says, "Oh, I don't know my way around Enid, how would I know where to go?" How would you answer that if someone called and had that
Well,
concern?
they can if they're wanting to drive route, they can drive right along with one of our drivers, and he will show it. I've had
Great.
several that ride along with me because we have one route now that the lady that was driving it quit, and so that I've been taking it part way, and I said, okay, you can come along and drive with me, and I'll show you the route.
Great.
And what
so they're
have
not
you.
just thrown out there on their
No,
own. And
no.
I imagine the homes, you try to keep them into common areas
Right.
and that kind of thing.
Right.
Well, and that brings up another point. I imagine if you already are kind of needing more drivers, say you have someone who's ill or needs to go out of town, that could really put you in a bind with folks maybe not being able to receive their meal or not receive it on time if you have several absences.
Right.
So would it be possible to be an on-call volunteer maybe?
Yes, that'd be great.
Great. So maybe I don't want to commit to every single day, but call me if you need someone and I can
Right.
show up. Wonderful. Fundraising. We talked about you're funded through a grant,
Right.
but are there other avenues that you explore as far as coming up with additional funds for your meals or your?
Each site is supposed to have one fundraiser per year.
Okay.
And that's the aspect I don't care about for the job. I love working
It's
with
not
people.
everybody's cup of tea. Yeah.
But
And what have some of the fundraisers been in the past? What do these?
well, there's been we raffled off Afghan one
Uh-huh.
year, and one site raffled off a quilt.
Okay.
And some of the sites now, if they're a kitchen site, where they have the kitchen, sometimes they will fix like a chicken noodle dinner or something.
Gotcha.
Have people coming in for and
Uh-huh.
a just donation
So
deal.
really, anything that you can think of is open for grabs for
Right.
a fundraiser.
No, we don't have a site here at Enid.
Right.
Eating, a kitchen site, so
But would that be
wouldn't
something
out,
that
but,
maybe an organization could sponsor? Say someone gave you a call and said, hey, we've got a kitchen and I would love to have this fundraiser for you in your name. Would that be a possibility?
Yes, I would love that.
It'd probably
Or
make
any
your whole
donations,
day, wouldn't
anybody
it?
wants
Right.
to donate or anything like
Yeah,
that.
the
I would love
raffle.
it.
If you
Right.
had something with someone of value or something that would be appealing, maybe they would be concert tickets or event tickets or, a television set or an item of some kind that could be raffled off and the proceeds go to Wheat Heart Nutrition. Very probably would be a tax deductible donation, and Verna would love to visit with you about that. So numbers on the bottom of the screen there, feel free to give her a call, whether it would be to inquire about having meals delivered, participating in the on-site meal program, volunteering would be wonderful, even if you can't commit to do it every day or even on a regular basis. Please call and ask about that. She'd love to have you give it a try, or to sponsor some sort of a fundraising event or donate an item to be raffled off. Is there anything else about the Wheat Heart Project that you can think of that the community might be interested in?
No, I can't think of. We just a lot of the people enjoy coming in and meeting, you know, other people and
Sure.
visiting. And
I imagine for many folks that is the highlight of their day, getting to go out and socialize and see their friends and have a nice, warm, nutritious meal, and probably makes the difference in a lot of folks being able to remain in their homes.
And especially with the home delivery meals, if somebody's not there that day, then we will leave a note. We were there, and if we don't hear back from them, and especially if they're not there the second day, we will start contacting emergency numbers and say, okay, is this person okay, or are they, you know.
What a wonderful service. You think of folks that don't really have, like I said, family in town. Maybe they've become disconnected socially a little bit, but there's that person, that entity that's going to check on them on a regular basis and make those contacts if there's an emergency. So thank you so much for all you do. We really
Thank you for
appreciate
inviting
it.
me
It's kind of a little
and having me.
hidden jewel that Enid has. And so if you're interested, if this has appealed to you, you'd like more information and would like to participate, please don't hesitate to call. You can call Miss Verna at the number at the bottom. Call me at Grace Care, 237-6911, or Lori at gracecareok.com to visit about this or any other of our programs or services or activities geared towards seniors in the Enid area. Thank you very much.
Imagine a time when no one person has brain disease. Imagine a time when no one person has Parkinson's disease, or no one person has MS. No one person is debilitated by a stroke, and no family suffers the tragedy of Alzheimer's. Some of the best minds in America are doing more than imagining. The American Brain Foundation is seeking to find cures, where life without brain disease isn't just something we can imagine, it's something we can know. Help us get there at curebraindisease.org.